Hi all, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with myself, Amanda Digger Degaz, and sadly, Gypsy will not be able to make the show tonight, which, we did try to just run a quick test, and there's been some updates, and her side is a incredible echo. So I'm gonna give her the night off. I know she needs rest. So all right, this is going to be interesting. I don't, this will be the first podcast I've ever gone about talking to myself. So please go easy on me. I have lots of neat stuff to talk about. Just got back from a trip, have a trip planned in the next week. So it's, yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, I talk to myself plenty when I'm recording, but yeah, this is a little bit different. We will have a giveaway or two tonight, and the way we do the giveaways and the way that we've done it in the past, everybody that comes into the chat that I see your name, I jot down your name and then I assign a number. And then when we go to do the giveaway, when I say we're going to do the giveaway, I will use random.org and that will pick a number and it will be, the number that I wrote down wrote down next to somebody. So, woo, yes. So, I do have to say I just got back last Monday, so a week ago today. I got back from Pennsylvania. John and I made the trek to come out swinging, which was I think it was Boyerstown Historical Society fundraiser. Got to see a lot of really great metal detectorists and treasure hunters. Also got to meet a lot of new people and even new detectorists to the hobby, and that was really cool. Long list. I got to dig before the event. Charlie Harley invited John and I out, so we got to do some detecting. Rob Tyson, I think is maybe how you say the last name, Charles Schaefer. Got to finally meet Karen, KK. I got to meet Corey Mason and James Anuska and Seth Newkirk and got to meet PA Pirate Paul and Alan Hendricks and Chris and Kim Altman. They're really cool. They're doing the books, the profiles books, um, and then Dustin Diagostino, and he's a Dutch boy, I think he goes by, and John Donaldson and Audra and Nancy. Just there were so many people at that hunt. John and I got up really early Friday morning, and we headed down in the fog and the rain and the thunder and lightning, and it finally cleared and there was a big rainbow. It was a lot of fun heading down. And yeah, that first day, man, I got my first really cool find down there, which was a colonial shoe buckle frame. And it was broken, but I managed to actually find it in two different areas of this giant field. So that was my find of the weekend. And John, aka Digfoot, he was just hitting it left and right. He got a couple coppers. I think he got a barber dime, a bunch of musket balls, some pretty buttons. So for Pennsylvania, yeah, we did pretty well. It was a lot of fun. The hunt itself was great. I mean, it was so cool to see Pennsylvania. I've only been down there once and it was in the dark. So it was neat. It was definitely a good time. So I know that when Gypsy comes back, she'll probably talk about the Arkansas event that she was at, and I know I heard a lot about that, and it sounded like a lot of fun. So hopefully when she comes back, she can tell you some of the stories from that. So we all look forward to her joining us back. Might end up with a pre-recorded show. There's the possibility she's flying in next week to visit little old me, and we'll be traveling to Bone, perhaps. I know I'm traveling to Bone. Things are still up in the air. really hoping she can make it, and we will end up at yeah, Best of New England over in Keene, New Hampshire. And that's a hunt we've really been looking forward to. It will be our first event where we have a pop-up tent for Treasure Vortex and doing giveaways and meeting people. So it should be a really, really great time. Let's see. So I was talking about Come Out Swinging, which is the Pennsylvania hunt. We got there a day early and left a day later. I just know, when you make these drives that it's, 6 hours, heck, even 5 hours. After digging all day, that drive home is usually pretty painful. So we ended up staying and we did some door knocking. So the way that we usually go about trying to find a place is John will drive or I'll drive and we'll say, okay, let's take a right. And then he'll go left and right and left. And we ended up going by this old farmhouse that had huge fields behind it. And a man was sitting outside. And so John and I pulled in and I noticed he was whittling a little wooden carving of some sort. And I got out and I explained, as a metal detectorist and, wondered if we could detect. And he looked at me, he goes, well, what machines do you have? So we brought him over to the car because we had everything in it from the event and showed him the Garrett Ace Apex and John Simplex. And I had also had my backup MX7 for whites. And he pointed to the Apex. He goes, I have something like that. He goes, do you think you can help me? And yeah, absolutely. I said, bring out whatever you have. So he ran inside and he grabbed his Garrett, I think it was a Garrett Ace 350 or 300. I'm not so sure on the model numbers of those types, but he brings his detector out and he's like, how do I do it? So we were able to walk him through the steps and the different programs, and his wife wrote it all down for him. And he said, yeah, you guys can absolutely, detect. He goes, you don't mind if I tag along? And we're like, no, it's your property. Let's go. He didn't have a pinpointer, so I kind of stuck around to where he was digging. So each signal I saw he got, I'd run over and, and lend him the pinpointer. And he was just so excited to get a handle on that machine, and he has a vacation plan, so we were able to tell him, this is what you need, like the pinpointer. He was able to use it and see it and know that, yeah, that would make life easier. And he was all excited for his vacation. And so before we left, they handed us their address because we had honestly no idea where we were because we did the left right, ended up at this property. And they said, anytime you're down in Pennsylvania, come back. And we kind of joked. I mean, John and I, we found tons of canned slaw. I think we ended up filling up half a bucket, a Home Depot bucket with canned slaw. So I joked around and I said, I get it. You let us detect so we could help get the trash out. And we all had a good laugh. But it was a lot of fun, and it seemed like it was meant to be. You never know when you're out there how it's going to go when you're door knocking and things like that. We were out there and it started hailing. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. But a lot of fun, and it was great to be able to, help someone that's got a detector. I wasn't sure with that one, but and then I see in chat somebody said that the ticks, were the ticks out in Pennsylvania yet? I wondered that. I was definitely in some thick brush and did not, I searched myself after and no ticks. And we were going to ask someone and then forgot and ended up out. But I know the ticks are already out here in Maine. So I can just imagine that they're probably out in Pennsylvania. It was just nice that, we didn't end up with any on us. So. Yeah, that was a neat door knocking story that, you just never know what you're going to come across when you're trying to get a property to detect. So it was a lot of fun. He also carves, actually I probably shouldn't, but trademarked for him, he makes walking sticks he whittles like all these cool things on these walking sticks. And then he makes like bobbleheads for him. So one he had like I think it was like a sailor man on the top. So when you go to walk and you go with the stick, its head bobbles, and it was so awesome. So they were a real hoot to talk to, and then yeah, it was great. The ride home though, hope we were hoping for 6 hours. It ended up being 9.5. Wasn't really fun. I think everyone knows when you're trapped in a car in traffic, and it's not a good time. But the event overall and seeing everyone and getting to dig a new state was a lot of fun. It really was. So that was a cool aspect of last weekend. And then I think in the pre-recorded episode, we had talked about one of my permissions is excavating to put in a building. So absolutely love it. They took off the top soil and they've been digging down, and I have found some crazy things. I found like a pendant I think I talked about last week. I found a flying eagle. I got there a little bit earlier this past week and got to talk to the excavator dudes and was like, I know there's got to be a pit here somewhere, whether it was a privy or a dump, based on the glass shards and the porcelain pottery pieces on the surface at certain times. I was like, there has to be one here. And got to talking to it and got there the next day and they were like, yeah, we think we hit a pocket of bottles. So we left it kind of open and I was so excited. Got to talk to the man running the excavator and he had a little bottle and he ended up gifting it to me. It was a cute little perfume. And then he started talking about how he wanted to get into metal detecting. So that was a good little meet and got to chat with him and show him the metal detector and whatnot. So I went over to where the excavator was, and sticking out of the sidewall was a ginger beer bottle. Pulled that out and kept digging and found almost an intact ginger beer bottle that has a little bit of chip on the lip, but besides that, it's intact. I'm pretty sure it was marked Glasgow, which would be Scotland, I believe. I haven't put an age to it yet, but the glass I wanted to cry as I was digging because the those I'm pretty sure shatter all the glass bottles, and each glass bottle that I found the base of, all of them had pontil marks, which that's early, early, early bottles with the dark glass and the wavy glass, and I was pretty sad. I did not find any intact actual glass bottles besides those just the ginger beer bottles. So but I know that they saved some of the dirt that they pulled off, and it's all in these giant piles. So after the rain this week, I did go over this weekend and was metal detecting, and I found now forgive me if I say it wrong. I think it's called a chatelaine. I know, horrible pronunciation. Probably didn't even say it right. But what it would be women during the Victorian era would wear it around their waist, and it would have chains and carry things like keys or thimbles or sewing or a little change purse. And it's something that's been on my list. And when I originally found it, I thought, okay, that's got to be a watch fob chain. But no, I don't think it is. So I was pretty excited by that. And then went back over and found a couple more buttons and one of these giant piles when I had first got there on I think it was Friday afternoon, there was a bell sitting on the bottom. And I was like, you just got to open your eyes in some of these sites. And I just couldn't believe I didn't even need the detector. It was just sitting there. So that was really, really cool. And yeah, so I know I'm rambling. Usually it's you get the break, the back and forth with Gypsy. So again, sorry and thank you guys for putting up with this. um, let's see. I know that I'm pretty sure I've got the majority that are in chat so far written down and figured why not go ahead and try to do a giveaway? So, what we have, I'm going to be giving away two tonight. It's Sergeant Whitey's Discoveries Challenger coin and and a sticker pack. So if you're listening right now and you'd like to get in on the giveaway, just jump into chat real quick and put your name down and I can add you to the list. Yes, indeedy. I'm just thinking, it's already Monday, going to be traveling next Monday. Got to, all right, this time's a little different. Thankfully, it's a road trip. So, got to bring the pop-up tent and the tables and the chairs, and actually got a, a big banner that's got Treasure Vortex on it. So, I'm actually really excited. Really excited. Might even have some tokens to go in the ground for some shirts, and yay, it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. All right, everyone that's written so far, I already have you. So let me go. So I'm going to random.org and it shows that there is, let's see, 13 of us in chat right now. And so 1 through 13, and I'm going to generate, and it's number 2. So Swamp Fox, that is you. That is you. Congratulations. If you could email, let's see, it's tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com with your address. And I will get that out in the mail this week. So again, that is, let me put this in the chat. tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com. All right. Jason. Right. All right. So we'll be giving another one of those away in a little bit. Swamp Fox, I've removed you. I'm sorry. You can't win twice. There's only the 2 giveaways tonight, so I'm going to change the numbers up. So there we go. All right. So have any of you ever metal detected big giant dirt piles from excavated sites? I'm kind of curious if I should actually ask if I can kind of like knock the piles down a little bit. I'm getting good signals, but some of them, you when you're digging in, it tends to just fill back in. So I've been going back and forth and possibly just knocking the piles down or just let them slide down. I don't know. Not sure who else actually, might detect dirt piles. I know that there's some detectorists that get to do excavation sites, and I wasn't sure if they just do the ground or if they do the piles as well as the ground. Maybe. James said he was they were redoing the driveway and he almost got a chance. Oh, that's a bummer. Didn't get to. Yeah, it is kind of like digging, I guess, on Oak Island. The hole just kept filling in because of the pile sliding down. It was a mess, absolute mess. It was even worse after the rain because it was like mud all on the outside. So as you're getting caked in the mud trying to dig, it was dry on the inside, and yeah, that didn't work either. And they must have hit water too, because I know that each time I was stepping down when I was doing the bottle pit, Oh man, the mud that was coming up was crazy. It's definitely spring here, and as I'm sure it is in a lot of the United States right now, and mud season is full force. I've decided that instead of destroying our washer, I just let the mud dry on the clothes and then try to just whack it out and let it dry off. And let's see, Scott said he has. They dredge an old recreation pond and put the dirt near his buddy's house. Oh, you didn't find anything though? That stinks. You would think that, especially an old pond that people were swimming in, you'd have a chance of finding some stuff. But no go. No go. Let's see. I did get out mudlarking on Saturday for about an hour before the wonderful thunder started booming, and I decided that it was probably not safe for me to play on the water or anywhere wet with the giant storm coming through. But I did find something pretty neat, and I'll post it to Treasure Vortex Facebook as well as my own here in the next day or so. But it looks like it's possibly a silver enameled pin, and it's got what looks to be a crown on top and then a coat of arms, and it's super heavy. It's probably only the size of maybe a nickel or a penny, but it's really neat. When I first saw it, I had no idea what it was. And then, as I cleaned it up a little bit, I was like, "Oh, that uh, you know, actually looks like a coat of arms." Let's see. Rebecca said, "Wait, you're supposed to wash your digging clothes between hunts?" Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I have a pair of jeans that I love to wear digging, but I also like to wear them out on occasion, so it's my fault for only having the one pair of those. But yeah, so some of them, sometimes. And then with ticks up here, I do tend to wash my clothes. I haven't soaked them yet in this year's Promethean or the yellow bottle. So that will be happening here soon, especially before we end up heading off to Keene. So John says, "What is your best, most favorite fine mudlarking?" So let's see. I have to say that my favorite, and just because it's my first ever, and I found it mudlarking and not detecting, but a 2 real was probably my one of my favorite finds while mudlarking. But that hunt itself was just crazy. I ended up finding my first intact clay pipe bowl with stem and an umbrella ink and the 2 real and a clay marble. And it was just one of those mudlarking hunts that was just epic. So that whole entire mudlark trip, besides the 2 real, was just awesome. It really was such a good time. And it was, you know, I was out there, John was out there taking pictures because this is a spot that eagles like to hang out. So he was out there checking that out and watching the eagles and the different birds that were coming through. And I was mudlarking, I think it's a 1920s to 1940s dump. And all of a sudden, I guess he met this gentleman that was like, "Oh, if she likes that, you need to tell her to come over here." So all of a sudden, I looked up and I saw him across from where I was, and he's waving, like, "Come over here." So I ended up, "What are you doing over there?" And I met the gentleman. He's like, "Oh, if you like, mudlarking and stuff, you should check out this area." He goes, "On occasion, there's some neat things." So I was like, "All right, yeah." I get down there, and right off the bat, I spot an umbrella ink sticking out of the mud, and I was like, "Okay, this is great." And yep, me, I'm mudlarking. I flip everything I could potentially see. I flip lots and lots of acorn caps because they tend to look like rings or coins. they're pretty symmetrical, and so I always flip those over, and I thought I was flipping another acorn cap over, but it turned out to be, let's see, I've got it right now. I think it's 1761 2 real. So that was really neat, really. It was such a great time. So thanked the man profusely, and he's like, "Oh, you should go out more often. I'm sure there's other stuff out there." And people are like, "You got to take the detector." And that's crossed my mind a lot too. It's a really tough spot to get with equipment. More or less, you need to have both hands and a side bag to get down there and be able to search. So yeah, thanks Don for coming in and giving it a listen for a little bit. Let's see what else. Um, no, I think there's 15 people, or now there's 14. There might be more listening. And I know that a lot of people end up catching this on replay, which is absolutely fine because, it's just me. Um, and I can't say that we'll go the full hour that we normally go. We've kind of held off on bringing on guests until everything gets kind of settled. We do have a lineup of guests that have agreed to come on, and we've just had to push the dates out, for the both of us to make sure, everyone's good for it to go. And so, yeah, that's about it. Yes, I do have crazy stories. Crazy stories. I hopefully next week will be lots more crazy stories. And then I'm hoping this weekend that one of the permissions that Digfoot, Mr. John, and I have is he has a 1700s home on many acres in a town, about a half an hour away or so. But he wants to see some of the stuff that we found at this spot close by. So I had agreed, you can only metal detect for so many years before the stuff just starts piling up. And, I said to him, you can have whatever you want. And I'll gladly show it to you and everything. And he's like, oh, no, I just want to see it because it's neat. He goes, but while you're down here, he goes, you should detect this property too because the 1700s house and there's foundations. So really hoping to get over there this weekend and show him. I think now his site has produced maybe 7 large tents, I think. I don't know. I've got 3 sitting in front of me from just the last few hunts, and that 3 ringer was from his property as well. So I know, and I think last year I found 4 before the ground froze. So it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait for him to see the finds, and then I can't wait to check out this new property and the curiosity of what is there. You never know. And I mean, it could have been detected before. I don't know. I know when I was originally telling him about the finds and stuff, he thought I was already detecting that property. So you never know. Let's see. John asked in chat, Amanda, do you bottle dig at any of those 1700s houses? So I have not found I have not found the bottle dump at the place that we're currently searching. I have kept my eyes open and I do have a bottle probe, and that's something that I'll probably get to once the grass starts growing a little bit higher because they're hay fields. So once that the hay is up to my knees or thighs, it makes it very difficult to swing in, and I tend to steer towards other activities like bottle dump digging, privy digging, hopefully this summer, and mudlarking. So, and then hopefully I can find the one at this new property, which would be great. James, you wondered where Gypsy's at. So Gypsy's with her family right now. Everybody keep them in your thoughts. I know she has put it in the past videos, stuff's going on with her dad. So we did try to run a quick chat because she was definitely going to hop on. She had made it back in time to be able to hop on to this show tonight. But like we always do, it seems when there's an update, with Spreaker and Skype, there is a massive echo issue. So I told her, just relax. I will try to fly by the seat of my pants tonight, and we'll end up doing another show here this week, or perhaps I can bring my laptop with me and we can do a show from away next week from Keene, New Hampshire. So, yes, and she will have, I'm sure, amazing stories for you. I know you said, James, you finally got to meet her in person. I know that a lot of people got to meet her at the Arkansas hunt. Was that last weekend as well? So when I was in Pennsylvania, she was in Arkansas. See, we're trying to, you know, go to every state possible. And thank you, Swamp Fox. Yeah, that would be great. We're trying to slowly work the globe and get to meet people everywhere. So can't wait to meet, a bunch of the diggers in Vermont and New York and New Hampshire and Maine at the Best of New England next week. Should be a lot of fun. I know we're both looking forward to it. I think Wednesday is Garrett Day, and I think Maddie and Miguel and Gypsy. I'm trying to think. I think Brad from Green Mountain Metal Detecting is going to be there. Yours truly, I will be there. I'll be sporting the Treasure Vortex, so it should be a good time. I had a blast last year. Already, though, it seems that this year is a little bit warmer. And I have my fingers crossed because last year we did get snow and hail and thunderstorms and craziness. And it was definitely, I think there was one day that it was really nice and warm, and the rest where you needed multiple layers on those farm fields because of the wind. So, yeah, we will see. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I've been watching weather and checking out the radar and the 10 days ahead to see, okay, what do I need to pack? But and I am still swinging the Garrett Ace Apex right now. I still have the standard coil that came with it, but I love using my MX7 with the smaller coil in those high trash, high iron areas. So I'm thinking of actually getting the smaller coil for the Apex as well. Just because I love working the iron patches, and I miss it. So I'll probably be looking at a new coil here soon as well. And I think it will be like, not counting this past weekend, I think, you know, I only got to use it maybe 3 or 4 times before the ground froze at the end of last year. So I'm still relatively new about it, or new with it. So it's one of those things where I've had to leave my old machine at home because I'd wanted to keep going and grabbing it. I think a lot of us might do that as well. You get the new machine and you might get frustrated with it and you turn to your old machine, and I'm just purposely trying to leave it at home so I can get to know it. I think we were talking in the past episodes about, it's kind of like dates. You're dating it. You got to find out what it likes and how it operates, and then it will be good to you. Let's see. Mike says, what's the average depth that I get with the Apex? So far I've gotten to about a foot down, but I haven't really played with the frequencies too much on it. It's got, I think it's 5, 10, 15, 20, and the multi frequency. So I need to get playing with that a little bit more, especially on in areas that I've only been working with it. So I will, yeah, only about a foot now. Let's see. Jason asks, I haven't moved to try out the new Nocta Legend yet. No, I have not. I know that John uses the Simplex, and he has been doing some research into the Legend. And then my friend from Vermont, Scott, he has the Legend, so I've gotten to see some of his finds with it, and it seems like a really good machine, solid machine. But no, I actually haven't swung any of the Noctas except for the pulse dive. And the pulse dive I only used maybe for like 20 minutes. So yeah, it's sitting in a box. I feel bad. That's probably something, you know, I should look at digging out and doing something with, or I don't know. Have too many machines. Hi, Tim. Hi, Tim. Uh, yes, the no cables I've heard is pretty amazing with the Deus. The one thing I learned this past weekend that I never put two and two together was that with, I think, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but the Deus, you need to charge the coil, you need to charge the machine, you need to charge the headphones. And I'm wondering, do you all bring like power outlets with you, like the strips, so you can plug it in and charge it everywhere? Maybe. I know that was something we brought with us on the trip to Pennsylvania because we both had two machines that both needed to be plugged in, two headphones that need to get plugged in, you know, our cell phones, and then we both have a couple of those Anchor battery packs. So, I mean, the hotel rooms have gotten a lot better with outlets and USB ports, so that's pretty cool. I don't think we actually had to take out the power strip. We got to use the USB ports that were in the hotel room, but you never know when you're charging. When you go into some of these older hotels, I know that the Keene one we're staying in is like, you know, no elevator, there's no this, there's no that. And I think the Best Western, someone was saying one of the hotels is a lot older. So, yeah, we tried to bring some of those extra cable plugs, strips with us to help charge. Um, Oh, three-prong cable. So you're charging all three in one plug for the Deus? One cable with three ends. That's cool. Wasn't really sure how that would be. So I was like, oh, can you imagine having to charge each three? You'd have to charge one, and then the second, and then the third. So that's actually pretty ingenious that they did it that way. Pretty ingenious for the Deus. And I have heard, you know, really good things about the original Deus, so I'm sure the Deus 2 is even better. And I know we're at almost 8:40, and I think we should we should give away the second Challenger coin that Sergeant Whitey sent us. So I will do another random.org. If you are listening and would like to jump into chat, and that way I can get a number down for you, and we can do random.org, and perhaps you can win a Challenger coin, which is actually really neat. It's a lot bigger than a lot of the Challenger coins I've seen. And then you can get a sticker pack, which would obviously be Treasure Vortex, myself, and then I got some zero discrimination stickers for Gypsy. But if you're listening and you'd like to win one of those, just jump into chat and say hi, and I will be giving that away in a second here. And then Rebecca, yeah, I saw that you were going to the Rhode Island hunt, and it was one of those things I was going back and forth on, and yeah, I wish I was going. So you'll get to, I don't know if you met Steph Diggs, but she'll be there. And I've had a lot of fun digging with her. So definitely go say hi for me because it's a lot of fun digging in Rhode Island. All right, so let me bring up another chat. Um, random.org. Opening Chrome. Sorry, it's taking me a second to just open it up. And 17. Now you guys know what it sounds like when I'm just wandering the fields because I'm usually whistling or talking to myself or uh, yes. All right. So we have 17 in chat right now, and not 117, but 17. And we will generate in 3, 2, and 1. All right, number 16, Tim Digger. Tim Ill Digger. You have won the second Sergeant Whitey Challenger coin. Congratulations. If you can email tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com with your address, I can get those in the mail. And if there's anybody in chat that, you haven't received any of our newer stickers or anything like that, and you'd like some, definitely, use that email address. Just send us your name and address and say you'd like some stickers. If I'm going to the post office, I'd rather rather get some other mail out there too. So if you have not received any Treasure Vortex stickers or a Zero Discrimination or a Digger Degaz sticker, definitely give a shout out to the Treasure Vortex tv.treasurevortex@gmail.com and I can get those in the mail. Congratulations to Swamp Fox and Tim Ildigger for winning the 2 Challenger coins. And I know when Gypsy comes back, she's got some awesome American Digger magazines that she'll be giving away as well. That's such a fun magazine, and I know I enjoy it. I missed the cutoff by renewing I renewed too late, so I didn't get January's or the first of 2022, which had apparently all these pictures from Chazzy, New York, from Digstock. So once they start sending, once they have the individual magazines for sale, I'll definitely have to get one of those because that was such a fun time. I do know that Digstock, North Carolina also happened. I think, Gypsy got to talk a little bit about it on the pre-recorded episode, but we could definitely grill her and see how it went. And then I think the Ohio, is it Dig and Dive? Digstock? Dig and Dive Digstock. No, that's cool. Um, I think that will be coming up. I thought I saw June. I could be wrong. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I think that one looks like a lot of fun too. You have the chance of the natural hunts as well as the seated, and just to be able to dive like in this quarry, that seems really neat. So, Tim, I'm in that. Oh, no way. So yeah, I'll have to get that issue. I missed it. Digstock, New York, last fall was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So thank you, Tim. So dive and Digstock, and I'm not even sure if that's what they're calling it, but I like how it flows, is in July. And I'm sure we'll have more information once we get closer to it. So those are the 2 giveaways tonight. I look forward to meeting a lot of people. If you're listening at the Best of New England next week, it starts Tuesday and runs through Sunday. I believe I'm only going to be there Tuesday through Saturday morning for a little while, and then I have to go. But definitely looking forward to seeing everyone. And then Detectival. I wish I have to hold off on the Detectival, I believe, until next year. I've already used up quite a bit of time off, and I already have quite a bit of time off already planned for this year. And that was not one of those things that I incorporated into my plan making. So maybe next year, Jason. And thank you, Travis. Yeah, solo job was interesting. I hope I did not bore any of you. And yeah, so we might end this show a little early just because, yeah, just because. But thank you all for listening. I hope that both Gypsy and I can be on the show for next week. And I'm pretty sure I'll be bringing my laptop to the best of New England and maybe getting some hellos and highs from other diggers. I'm going to try to get that worked to see how it will be. And yeah, so who knows what we have in store. And I know once summer comes, things will start settling down as well. And hopefully our great lineup of guests that we have, we can entertain you all with their wonderful adventure stories. So, all right, from me to you all, I hope you have a wonderful week. If you get out digging, best of luck, and I hope to all hear from you and talk to you next week. All right, good night, everyone.